with Andre Haghverdian. He covers the Aztecs football team for the East Village Times. They have Boise State in a battle for first place in the Mountain West Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium, as big as it gets in the Mountain West, probably the biggest game to date this year in the Mountain West. We played Saturday night in San Diego. So, Andre, always appreciate you taking time for us. By the way, congratulations on your honeymoon as well.
Thank you.
Must be nice.
And your wedding and your marriage. So congratulations on that. Let's get to football though. Okay. All right. So do you take anything away from what happened this past Saturday? Is it impactful moving forward? The 38-6 loss at Hawaii. What impact, if any, does that have moving forward on San Diego State?
I think it's impactful, obviously, in the standings. It makes this game against Boise, critical, if not necessary. I think what was concerning was the offensive struggles, not just on Saturday night, but the last 3 games since the bye. So I think, the defense was probably due for a letdown, especially without star Chris Johnson at corner. Special teams, gave up a touchdown and missed a kick. But the offense, I think, is the most glaring issue that I think needs to be addressed moving forward if they do want to contend for a championship.
When you look at this weekend, weather could be a factor once again. It seemed like the rain played some type of role in Hawaii. Do you think that could be a factor in this upcoming weekend against Boise, or with how they played on Saturday in Hawaii with rain, maybe they're better equipped now for Boise on Saturday with potential rain? What's your feelings and thoughts on that?
I definitely think it impacted them. I asked the players, Trey White and Lucky Sutton, yesterday at the press conference, and they said, well, both teams had to play in the rain, so, it didn't have an impact, but I do think it did. I don't think the team was ready to deal with it. Whether it's going to impact this coming week, the Boise State doesn't have the passing attack that Hawaii had. I think this game is going to probably be a low scoring game based on the running game for both teams anyway. So it actually might not really play much of a factor, at least that it did last week, if it is raining.
Andre Haghverdian, East Village Times, with us right now, and John and Jim will give away Aztec tickets coming up in about 10 minutes. So Boise's starting quarterback, who led them to the CFP last year, Maddox Madsen, is out. He was hurt in their last game. That was about 2 weeks ago, because that was against Fresno State. They've had the bye. What do you see as the impact of that? They're a run-first team. They want to establish the run to establish the pass. How easy or difficult will it be for them to overcome losing a veteran quarterback like Madsen that's won as often as he has?
Yeah, he was the preseason offensive player of the year for a reason. So not having him is a big issue. But their backup Cutforth, he's had 2 weeks to prepare for San Diego State's defense. It's given their coaching staff 2 weeks to kind of cater the game plan more to his strengths. I do think they're going to lean on their 3-headed running back trio heavily in this one. So it's tough to say, how much passing they're going to do. But I think looking back at the Fresno game, he was kind of put in the middle of the game unexpectedly. But having 2 weeks to kind of prepare, you're probably going to see a better version of Cutforth. Now, San Diego State, obviously coming off of their defensive performance, is going to be even more primed to make sure to show that one was, unlike the previous 6 games. So I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Jaden Denegal, his last 3 outings here, he has a total of 5 interceptions and just 1 touchdown thrown. He did not play well against Hawaii, 10 for 27. Against Wyoming, he was 11 for 22. Fresno, 11 for 18. He's looked off recently. Do you think that could be due to maybe an injury that he's maybe dealing with? Or is there concern with Jaden Denegal that he's regressing here instead of getting better like we hope to see throughout the course of this season?
He's definitely regressed these last 3 weeks. He's definitely injured as well. He's been questionable for several games. Sean Lewis mentioned yesterday he's getting limited reps in practice, which is even more of an indicator that he's probably not fully healthy. Now, the fact that the staff still feels that he gives them the best chance of winning, I think says a lot. But he is going to have to make more plays in the passing game because I think teams are going to gear up against Lucky Sutton and that running attack, especially Hawaii did that. And I think Senegal is going to have to play better. Finding Jordan Napier, who's a Bolitnikoff Award watch list nominee. He only had 2 targets last game. I think he only has 78 receiving yards in the last 3 games. They're going to have to look to get that connection going again because before the bye week, they were on fire.
Andre Haghverdian with us right now, covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. We'll give away some Aztec football tickets coming up in a few minutes. As you know, Andre, the last time San Diego State lost, they entered a bye week, but they came out in that next game against Cal like with their hair on fire, so to speak. I mean, they played incredible football, led by their defense, which has led them by and large this year. Did you get the feeling yesterday that once again they're highly motivated to overcome their performance from this past week against Hawaii and put that behind them come this weekend?
Absolutely. I think the team definitely has the right mindset, and they've proven to bounce back after a bad loss. It's just a matter of, who you're playing and where you're playing and what you can do to make sure that you bring your best game. I mean, I think the defense will bounce back. I think we haven't seen or heard Chris Johnson's availability yet. We might have to wait until the first availability report comes out on Thursday night for that status, but getting him back is going to be crucial. But yeah, the team, they understand that this is an important game, not just because of, first place, but Boise State obviously has been the team of the conference for so many years. They played in the playoff last year. I think this is a game that it's not going to be hard for the team to get up for this one.
Chris Johnson, obviously, as you mentioned, a huge piece of the defensive puzzle here. But Tana Latui, he's now out for the year. I don't know how much impact was missed from him against Hawaii because it felt like just the entire team defensively did not play well. But going forward, how could you see the loss of Tana Latui from also a leadership standpoint and on the field? How much could that hurt this defense going forward?
It definitely has an impact. I mean, I agree with you on the leadership aspect. He's a captain. Even earlier in the season when he was missing games, he was still dressing. He was still on the sideline, helping players out. Mr. Williams came in and played and started 2 games and played really well. The Cal game where they shut out Cal, Latuli didn't play in that one. So I don't know how much impact it had on the Hawaii game, but just not having Tano dressed and out there, I think is a big loss emotionally. But having that depth with not just Mr. Williams, but Brady Anderson, DJ Herman, I think they have enough. And then Owen Chambliss has been playing exceptional this year, leading the team in tackles. So I think they have enough there to overcome that loss.
Final one for me is just kind of a statement. I'm curious to get your just feel on the game. Aren't you kind of fascinated by this? Like San Diego State coming off the disappointing loss, Boise State coming off a disappointing loss. Boise is without their starting quarterback. Like, do you have a good feel? I don't have a great feel for how this game is going to play out. I could be convinced either way. Like Boise puts the pieces together or San Diego State puts the pieces together. What's your feel on this?
I mean, I think both teams are going to come out ready to play. I think it's going to be a low-scoring battle, defensive battle, just because I think both defenses are the strengths of these teams right now, considering the injuries. So it's, special teams can play a big factor and turnovers. Jim mentioned the turnovers lately. I think they have 8. The San Diego State has 8 turnovers in the last 3 games after only 2 in the first 6. So I think they're going to need to rely on Lucky Sutton protecting the ball and the defense taking the ball away from Boise State. But I do expect a low-scoring defensive battle here.
Yeah, no, I can see that as well. Absolutely. Andre, appreciate the insight and the perspective. We will see you at Snapdragon Stadium this weekend. And as always, we appreciate you hopping on.
Thanks, guys.
All right, good stuff. Andre Haghverdian. Again, you can check him out at the East Village Times covering San Diego State football. We'll have it for you Saturday night at 7:30. You can't understate the importance. The winner has a very good chance to host the Mountain West Championship game. The loser has a very good chance of not being in the Mountain West Championship game. So that's what's on the line. Winner likely hosts, loser likely doesn't play in the game.
I just hate that, of course, it's expected to rain this entire weekend. like really?
I know.
Are you
And
serious?
It's funny because it's like, oh, we can't catch a break in San Diego. I mean, we do catch a lot of breaks. It doesn't typically.
Weather-wise, this place is all about catching breaks.
Exactly. So we always catch breaks. So, I mean, maybe they're kind of, it's going to rain. I mean,
when
it's
it rains,
part of it.
When it rains, it feels like that's the anomaly.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't it rain next weekend?
Right.
Like, why does it have to rain
this
Saturday against freaking Boise?
What I've always learned about weather too, though, like having worked in the minor, nobody has any clue. Like it could rain at 2 p.m., but then be not raining at 7 p.m. Or it could be beautiful at 2 p.m. and then be pouring at 7 p.m. Isn't just part of it. The good thing with Sean Lewis, having played at Wisconsin and coached in the MAC at Kent State,
just deal with it.
He could care less. Like he's not sitting around like you and I, like, oh, my rain. Yeah. Now, I do think they were caught off guard in Hawaii because it went from gorgeous day to
That's
rainy.
Hawaii weather for you, though.
But it just sat there for 6 hours. I don't even they're just sitting there in the pouring rain. I think they'll be better equipped to deal with it this weekend if it is forecasted to rain and they're the home team. But it's a part of the equation. And you're right. I mean, does San Diego State play a lot of games in the rain? Let me answer that for you. No. Their last game they played that started in rain before Hawaii was in 2018. Was the last time they played in rain.
Was that against Air Force?
It was 2017, the Air Force game. The 2018 game was the bowl game. Remember the Ohio shutout loss in Texas in pouring rain?
I think I remember
20-0.
I remember watching the Air Force San Diego State game, and I think it was
2017.
But it was I remember it being in a press box.
Were you at home? There was a rain game at home the next year. At Air Force, there was a lightning delay for 2 hours.
No, I was in the press box at Petco Park. But that's not right.
It might be right. I don't know what year that would have been.
There was
a 2-hour delay at Air Force.
I just remember like the rain going. It was like sideways.
Yeah, they had one of those at home. You're right. They had one of those at home as well. But it doesn't rain often, as we know, obviously, here in San Diego. All right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Boise State on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. We do have 2 free tickets for you. A huge game for San Diego State. You can be there to support. Call right now if you want those tickets. Caller 5. You are going 877-767-4760. Caller 5. 2 free tickets to Saturday showdown against Boise State at Snapdragon Stadium. 877-767-4760. Call right now.